welcome back. This is actually a video I've been looking forward to making. Um, I'm going to show the Western Skyrim zone today, including Blackreach. And for how popular the offline game Skyrim was, the online game, to me, the Skyrim zone looks even better. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So, I mean, I've been sticking to this character, which I'd love to go. I would normally be on my tank heading into Skyrim because of the Harrowstorms. I love tanking the mini bosses at the Harrowstorms, but tanks in ESO have virtually no damage. So if I run into even an average enemy, I don't want to drag you through 5 minutes of me trying to kill like a wolf on a tank. So we're going to stick to a DPS character. So let's go see what Skyrim looks like, and I'm going to explain how it sets up because it's not like you walk directly into the online game like a section and it's Skyrim altogether. It's broken up into a few sections, but it'll make sense once I show you on the map. So here we are with the world map, Tamriel, the entire uh, overland world. The map doesn't show underground areas, but this is the overland world. So here is Western Skyrim. But for those of you who have played offline, you know that there's more than just, solitude and things like that. But in the game already, in the base game is already the Rift and Riften and East March, which are part of Skyrim. And the central part is not released yet. And if you remember the Dawn Guard skill line, or the add-on rather, I think that's the island, or maybe that'll be the island where the vampire castle was. And then the College of Winterhold, I guess, will be up here. So that's a section that's coming when it's not here. So what I'm going to do is travel. And by the way, the Reach is in here too, but the Reach is a DLC area. So there's the Reach. So you've got all of the overland of Skyrim, more or less, actually in the game already. So we're going to hop into, let's go directly to Solitude. In fact, let's go to the dock. Just like in the offline game Skyrim, there's the river next to the city Solitude, and there's a dock there. In fact, there's a stable there too, but it looks very, very different in some ways, the way it's all set up and the way that it appears. So here we are, we're at the Solitude docks, and there is the river, just like in the offline game Skyrim. Let me put away my companion. I've got Isobel, and she sometimes gets a little bit um, feisty when she sees enemies, so I'm going to keep us out of that. So here we are. Now this is only the overland part. It's a small area. I'm going to show you a zoom in on the map here. So I'm right here. There's Solitude, and I have a room in an inn in Solitude. You can buy Proudspire Manor just like you could in the offline game. And here are the wetlands, the lowlands. So let's go into the City of Solitude real quick and show you that. And just like in the offline game, there is, instead of the stable being over here, see the red in the sky in the background? That's a Harrowstorm. We're gonna go those. I love those. My favorite part of the game. There is the stable, but it's up here this time. That's an event. Um, like the impresario, the event merchant, stays there. And there is the stable, very tiny, but and that's battleground furnishers. That's for the PvP battlegrounds. And here's the city. Now, what does come with the online game in this section of Skyrim is a entire skill line called scrying. That's where you dig up antiquities. And you can get a variety of things. You can get furnishings for a house. You can get um, quite a few different things. There are daily quests in ESO. Here are the quest givers. There's a travel shrine, and there's the Proud Spire Manor, and there is the scrying. All right, see, there's Bard's College, just like in offline. And now next to it, you have the Antiquarian Circle. That's the scrying that I mentioned. So let's do an overland tour. And by the way, you have guild traders in ESO, and here's where you find the guild traders. At least the ones in Skyrim, because they're all over. See, there's like, I think 5 or 6 of them here. So we're going to go check out some of the areas and a Harrowstorm and some. All right, so different from the online game. The online game has that's a Harrowstorm. Looks like a jagged circle. That's a symbol for a group event in many maps where you'll see the one with the cross swords. That one is active. So why don't we go take a look at that one now? I don't know if we're going to do much at it because they take a while, but I want you to see it. These are a lot of fun to do. And at night, when you see them at night, and there is an aurora borealis in the Skyrim zone. Look at that. Really cool. The way these works is there are 3 kind of tree-looking things. They call them pikes, and there are souls that move to the pikes, and they kind of energize and heal them. Once you aggro, the enemies come after you. Then mini bosses spawn. In fact, there's 2. Let's try to help the guy out. You have to stay on the pike. You have to kill the pikes. Although I think he's not. This is why I usually come here on a tank and tank these guys. There aren't enough people here to do it. I think I'm going to back out because we're going to be here for way longer than I needed to be. So we're going to run away. We're going to take our dignity and run away and continue the tour. But those are the mini bosses. There are 5, up to 5 of them. And then once you take down the pikes, there's an end boss that you kill. That's how you finish it. And at the end, you get a reward. And there is there's a reward chest that you get with all of them, and you can do daily quests of doing the Harrowstorms, doing the world bosses, and also doing the a delve, which is like a one-man dungeon. They're really easy. So back to the map, we're going to. That's the symbol for a world boss, and world bosses could be of a big variety. There are some here. They're like that one is a werewolf. Humans that just turn into werewolves, and these dark houses, that's player housing. That's where you can actually buy a house or be given one. Like this one I was given during an event. I got that for free. So we're going to go back to the shrine and try to catch. Let's go over here because this is just like in the offline game Skyrim, there's a really interesting coastline where it's the frozen coast where there's like a shipwreck and you can see there's a road out and you'll get that freezing over your screen and you can go right up to the edge of the water and onto the ice and there's like see the icon, the silver cormorant, just like you can see the freezing on the mist on the screen. So there's a lot of things that are really overlapping in the online game and with the base game, but although it's not identical. And there is, not that I'm going to do it, but there's a world boss right there. See? And if you can see, there's several enemies over there. They have really high health. And then once you aggro, One of them turns into a giant werewolf, and the others turn into smaller werewolves, and it takes quite a while to take them down. So, but this is what the online version of Skyrim looks like overland. And just like in Skyrim, it's a very kind of homogeneous look because it's a northern cold land. There's another, say the ruins again, just like in Skyrim. And there's another flat area for, they call these ritual sites. That's where the Harrowstorms show up. And again, they're all over there's like 5 or 6 here. The way that you get to Blackreach, which is probably my favorite part, is just like in the offline game, you can use the lifts, the grand lifts. And in fact, we're actually buy one. So let's go the Eastern lift. Blackreach has so much more in it online than offline. Again, Skyrim, the regular game, doesn't have world bosses, doesn't have Harrowstorms, doesn't have a lot of the stuff. But this is Blackreach. This is what Blackreach looks like online. And this entire thing is the map of Blackreach. And we're over here. Blackreach isn't just under Western Skyrim. Blackreach is also under the Reach. See, there's part of it under the Reach. There's also part of it, I believe, under Eastmarch. And I think this one is quest locked. You can go here if you do a quest. But Blackreach is enormous online. And we're going to do just a ride through of some of the areas just to show you what they're going to look like. Blackreach in the offline game has its own mini bosses. It has Harrowstorms, the big red things I showed you overground. It's got one there, one there, one there, one there. There's 4 of them. And then there's a public dungeon, and then there's world bosses. I mean, it's really just so much more than, look at the size of this. And see what I mean by I wanted a DPS character because it's going to be really likely that we have to fight just to get through here. There's also a town, Dust Town. Uh-oh, I'm caught in the rocks. And there's an entire underground vampire castle, which I think we're going to have to travel to get to that. Yeah, it's kind of rough going. If she rides through water and it's too deep, she'll dismount. And if she's in combat, she can't mount again. So that's why I'm trying to just say she's in combat already. Whenever you see the red around the outside of the screen, you're in combat. So I'm going to try to look at this. This is just all the stuff that's in Blackreach. And it's connected by different passages. See, those are dwarven hostile turrets. And it's got different passages that you have to pass through. Yep, in combat. Oh, there we go. And down here, you'll find random quests. You'll find um, quests related to the public dungeons. You'll find quests related to Dust Town. I'm trying to get to the little town of Dust Town. There's also an underground cavern that you can pass through, or sometimes actually have to pass through. And the nav gets real interesting. Um, uh, like I said, a lot of combat. And I'm going the wrong way. So you could spend hours down here. You could spend hours and hours looking around into all the little nooks and crannies. Ritual site, this is another Harrowstorm. Like I said, underground. Maybe we'll run across the one that's actually active. Coming down here with the stealth character is perfect. You can look everywhere and do everything you want. But I'm trying to navigate over to the where I know the castle's going to be. And I think this Harrowstorm that she hasn't been to yet is the one that's active. Nope, I guess not. Well, more pass-throughs, but yeah, this Blackreach is just crazy in its size, its scale, and in some of the areas what they did with the artwork, which is just, I think is really cool. You also get a lot of underground different animals, and what's unique, I think we're going to see them pretty soon. There are these fawns. There we go. Or they're actually full-grown deer. Those are really cool. Um, this area I think we're approaching is near the vampire. We're going to run into vampires here, which just like in offline Skyrim, you can get bitten and contract vampirism. That happens here, but can you see it? See the edges of the castle? This is Blackreach online, and I don't remember anything like this from the offline version. So, I mean, a lot of the areas here to me are just better. Skyrim, in a lot of ways, is to me is just better online than it is offline. So, isn't that cool? All right, one more thing that I want to show you is a Harrowstorm under here because the effect is really different. And if you have a few people with you and you grab a Harrowstorm and want to finish it underground, it's a lot more of a desperate, incredible fight because no one shows up to help you. It's it's really it's a really cool type of battle. The thing about the Harrowstorms is you can't solo them pretty much because once you start them, if you die one time, the entire thing resets. So if people have started and they're in a decent position, I'll stop and help. But again, they're just too much. I mean, look at that. This is what it looks like underground. And we're aggroing, but look at that. That's crazy. And there's so much fun if you get a good group. She's going to try to do it by herself, and there's no way to do that. But anyway, so this is just a flavor of what Blackreach looks like underground. And it's really, really cool to me. It's just so much different and so much bigger than the offline, version of Skyrim. The above ground zone, the underground zones, they're really worth checking out. If you can play the if you can play the base game, that'll give you a flavor of what the game is about. And the Western Skyrim zone is a DLC area. It's a chapter. Um, but you, if you get that, then you get not only the stuff I just showed you, you get the scrying skill line where you can dig up antiquities and stuff. I just, I wanted to show what Skyrim looks like offline. The Reach looks really similar to the Overland. The Reach also has Harrowstorms, um, and it's got the Dwarven ruins and everything. But thank you, and I hope you liked the video.